On behalf of Brenda and all of the staff at the George Funeral Home and the Downs and Son Funeral Home, thank you for being part of this, our second virtual service, to remember, honor, and reflect on all of those near and dear to our hearts that have left us to be with their Maker over the past year. We also want to express our sincere hope that anyone and everyone who is struggling, for whatever reason, that they too find hope and strength to get through these troubling times and find the courage to move forward. Today, instead of the traditional Advent candle and scripture, we've decided to bring you stories of people's lives, how they are different and how they have coped with life's struggles and sad times. Kelly will begin with a Christmas poem.
Christmas memories. Christmas time brings memories of times when you were there, of precious times and happy times, the love that you would share. We open the gift that was your life, mixed with joy and tears. We share with fondness all the love you shared throughout the years. We bring out your cherished pictures, your carol we sing out loud. We set the table with the food you loved, and then with a loud shout, we wish you Merry Christmas. We wish you were here with us. And though you're not here in person, you're embedded in our hearts. So Merry Christmas, treasured one, throughout the coming year. The love you shared will remind us that you are always near.
And we continue with the following prayer. O God, tonight we bring before you all those we especially are missing this Christmas. We remember them by names in our hearts. We still hear their voices and celebrate our memories of them. We acknowledge and mourn losses suffered, the loss of relationship, the loss of stability, the shaking of the foundations of our lives. We remember the many emotions and experiences of Christmas: grief, disbelief, anger, great sadness, as well as gratitude for the care of family and friends and the support of all who have stood with us. And Brianne will continue with another story.
The night I met my grandmother. Snow was falling softly outside. I remember watching each flake gently floating to the ground and frosting the parking lot beneath a dim streetlight. Everything was quiet. I must have been 10 years old at the time, but 20 years later, snapshots of the night still flicker through my memory like pieces of fool's gold dancing in a riverbed. Among various pieces of meaningless sentiment, I can still recall the beauty and intensity of the Christmas Eve. We made our way into the small, empty Mexican restaurant and were greeted by a halo of Christmas cheer. The warmth of the lobby blanketed us from the cold Minnesota winter, outside as Feliz Navidad played overhead. My grandmother was in town and had insisted on taking our family out for Christmas dinner. Generally, we opened presents on Christmas Eve, so dinner was more an obstacle than an opportunity to enjoy the sentiments of the evening. At that point, I saw Grandma like a fairy godmother. I equated her with gifts, toys, and a never-ending supply of candy stockpiled in her Mary Poppins-sized purse. When she was in town, I knew it would be a Christmas, or at least a pile of Christmas presents worth remembering. Looking back, though, I can't remember a single present I opened that year. Grandma sat across from me. The candle on the table dusted her soft, wrinkled cheeks, and she began to tell us a story. I don't remember how the conversation started. Perhaps something sparked memories of a Christmas year behind us, or maybe she felt the need to share herself with us before it was too late. My dad says Grandma never talked much about herself before that night. In fact, she was relatively a private person. But something changed that Christmas Eve. A wall cracked somewhere inside of her. I remember staring up at her deep, dark eyes and feeling compelled to walk with her through a piece of her history. She talked about growing up during the Depression and losing both parents before the age of 16. She recounted the wrath of the economy and remembered having to eat frogs for dinner so she could stay alive. She spoke about dolls she had made from rags and random bits because she had no other toys. She told us she had lied about her age so she could join the Naval Hospital Corps as a scrub tech, and recounted meeting my grandfather after the war when she was in nursing school. I was captivated by her. The room seemed to get smaller as the details of her life spilled into the air. We leaned in, wrapping ourselves tighter around the table. Hours passed in what seemed like minutes. Dinner plates had been cleared, and opening Christmas presents was now a distant consideration. Grandma was becoming real to me. She was materializing in front of my eyes and creating a backdrop for the person I wanted to become. I felt like I was meeting her for the first time. She was radiant and raw. She was suddenly more than someone who showered us with goodies. She was a survivor, a hero, and an integral piece of who I was. She was a woman who fought to stay alive, persevered through tragedy, and appreciated simple things. She was stunning and strong, and I wanted to be just like her. Grandma passed away only a few years later. Had I known how short her time with us was, I would have begged her to retell her stories every single day until she was gone. We never got to sit across the table from her again, but those intimate moments so many years ago created a legacy that still impacts me today. That night, I found the importance of learning where I came from, celebrating the moments that stretched me, and remembering the people who loved me. I discovered the joy of significance and experienced the real meaning of Christmas. I saw evidence of grace in my grandmother's stories and encountered a longing for it in my own life. She showed me I could follow her footsteps in perseverance and could conquer life's challenges and fears head on. She taught me that everyone has a story worth telling and gave me the confidence to write one of my own. That night, I learned a lot about life and what it means to love. I realized that the stories we create with our lives can impact generations to come and saw the beauty of talking about the moments that make life worthwhile. I saw the importance of living a life that speaks of genuine substance and understand what sacrifice and forgiveness look like. Each year, on Christmas Eve, I am reminded of the night I truly met my grandmother. I am always amazed and eternally grateful for the gift of the legacy she gave me that Christmas.
At this point, we will continue with the lighting of our memory candles. We will also be placing a star on behalf of each family that we have had the honor of serving in memory of their loved one. Robert Nelson, Willard Aiken, Doreen Robbins, Ross Matheson, Bruce Tigus, Gertrude Purdy, Carl Taylor, David McCullough, Betty Casemore, Ruth Roberts, Dennis Brinkman, Bud Boswell, Carol Hagee, Clara Smith, Edith Cruikshank, Mark Volter, Harold Harmer, Kobe Hines, Colleen Ullman, Whitney Porter, Brenda Wierzykowski, Donald Jenkins, Shirley Clark, Perry Wilson, Linda Von Dungern, Anna Lee Ramage, Ernest Abel, John Downham, Fred Zamosny, Betty Hooker Vogan, Jesse McCurdy, Marilyn Height, Roy Thompson, Thomas Downham, Reverend David Clark, Tracy Caton, Donald Wojcik, Eleanor Hoth, Diane Brewer, Jason Renault, Jennifer Dixon, Wilmer Casemore, Flora Rogers, Norman Stevens, Bradley Bishop, Barry Carter, Peter McHugh, Alan Collins, Winnie Bearns, Mary Rush, Lois Bridge, Janet Henderson, Eleanor Stanton, Ivan Smith, Carol Copeland, Jack Raymond, Randy Spencer, John Fell, Michael Piggott, Betty Lou Mitchell, Grace Lundy, Roger Mole, Dick Farlatius, Janet Manderson, Shirley Couch, Jean Crow, Jim Ironmonger, Shirley Bond, Chris Hall, Mervyn Kaiser, Alex Spurgeon, Pauline Richardson, Klaus Roeder, Florence Wright, Jim Sutherland, Roy Nelthorpe, Jim Hill, Riona Rogers, Donald Westover, Marg Wardell, Alan Wiley, Ronald House, Shirley Collins, Fred Spencer, Iris Palmer, Bruce Martin, Arlette London, Brenda Burke, Elizabeth Klinko, Ross Lahid, Grant Barlow, Jean Henry, Grace Gard, Ken Debo, Meryl Troshke, Jim Sauvé, Amber Campbell, Verna Houston, Ruth Millman, Bonnie McDougall, Robert Evo, Helen McIntyre, Donald Standen, Jacqueline Hallowell, their passing we remember, their memory we cherish. And we'll take a moment now to remember each and every one of them. After times of loss and grief, we give thanks for the light that comforts us. When our journey is hardest, the way ahead unclear and we wonder if our tears will ever stop, we remember that you said, "Let there be light." We remember the journeys of our lives and how far we have traveled, and we give thanks for the light that leads us. In our yesteryears and our todays, there are moments we treasure, a friendship grows, truth is discovered, faith deepens. We remember the ways in which we have been blessed and give thanks for the light that shines on us. And I continue with a story that is called, "I Wish You Enough." I overheard a mother and daughter in their last moments at the airport as the daughter's departure had been announced. Standing near the security gate, they hugged and the mother said, "I love you and I wish you enough." The daughter replied, "Mom, our life together has been more than enough. Your love is all I ever needed. I wish you enough too, Mom." They kissed and the daughter left. The mother walked over to the window where I sat. Standing there, I could see she wanted and needed to cry. I tried not to intrude on her privacy, but she welcomed me in by asking, "Did you ever say goodbye to someone knowing that it would be forever?" "Yes, I have," I replied. "Forgive me for asking, but why is this a forever goodbye?" "I'm old and she lives so far away. I have challenges ahead and the reality is the next trip back will be for my funeral," she said. "When you were saying goodbye, I heard you say, 'I wish you enough.' May I ask what that means?" She began to smile. "There's a wish that has been handed down from other generations. My parents used to say it to everyone." She paused for a moment and looked up as if trying to remember it in detail, and she smiled even more. When she said, "I wish you enough," we were wanting the other person to have a life filled and just enough good things to sustain them. Then turning toward me, she shared the following, reciting it from memory. "I wish you enough sun to keep your attitude bright. I wish you enough rain to appreciate the sun more. I wish you enough happiness to keep your spirit alive. I wish you enough pain so that the smallest joys in life appear much bigger. I wish you enough gain to satisfy your wanting. I wish you enough loss to appreciate all that you possess. I wish you enough hellos to get you through the final goodbye." Then she began to cry and walked away. They say it takes a minute to find a special person, an hour to appreciate them, a day to love them, and an entire lifetime to forget them. And so, once again, it is our hope that each of you, as you go through this season and are struggling with the lights and tinsel, that you are not alone. On behalf of Brenda, myself, Kelly, Brianne, Ransler, and the rest of our staff, may you find peace and the strength to cope through this holiday season, to be able to reach out through faith, family, and friends, to make your own story of that special memory.